Howdy y'all, Caleb here. Today we're covering Glogg's Megamob. Now, if you're a subscriber, you may wonder, this is not Seraphim. What are you doing? As a side project, I do love the TROGGOTH models. I have a small TROGGOTH army. I've run a full 2,000 point army at a tournament before. Had a lot of fun with it. It's kind of taken the back seat ever since Seraphim's gotten its update. But now, the Trogs are getting a dedicated update, some might say buff, to their list. So we're going to look at that today. I will be putting them on the table versus Seraphim at some point once I get the rest of them painted up. And I think they're getting better with this update. So let's take a look. Glogg's Megamob. This is from the newest White Dwarf issue. And you'll see that it gives them basically a new sub-faction within Gloomspite Gets. And it's really targeted towards the Troggoths. And most of the things that are going to buff in here are those Troggoths. You can take other things in this sub-faction from Gloomspite Gets if you want to. But, as you'll see, it's mostly targeted towards the Troggoths. And that can be the Dankhold Troggoths, the Trog Boss, the Rockgut, the Fellwater, even the Trog Hag can get some buffs in here. So, we'll take a look at that first. If your army is a Gloomspite Gets army, you can give it the Glogg's Megamob keyword. And so they'll gain that keyword in addition to all the other stuff that they have. And they'll get these allegiance abilities in addition to the allegiance abilities from the Battle Tome Gloomspite Gets. So everything that we're going to talk about, they also get the moon, still the bad moon. You still get those things. And you still get the Loonshrine ability for bravery. Bravery, you don't have to take bravery within 12 inches of the Loonshrine. So you still get that and all the buffs that come with the bad moon as well. So we're going to look at each one of these and see kind of how it adds to our Troggoth army and what we're going to do with it. So the first one is the ability. Here's the sub-faction ability, and this goes for everything in the army that is tagged with that Glogg's Megamob keyword. So you add 1 to the dice that determines if a friendly Glogg's Megamob Troggoth unit heals any wounds when it uses its regeneration ability. So we see on all the Trogs they have a regeneration ability, and it's a 4-up roll. They'll heal D3 wounds back. And so this adds 1 to that dice roll, so now it's on a 3-up, a lot more reliable. To be honest, this doesn't go off a whole lot in the times I've played with Trolls, in that usually you've already lost the model in melee or shooting, and you don't really get to this a lot. And especially when it was on a 4-up, the time you did need it, it would never go off. So this adds a little bit more reliability to that on a 3-up roll now. And this, if you're under the bad moon, this does, you still get the buffs from that. So you can either re-roll it or you can double the amount of wounds healed. So this really helps, that healing process. So a good overall buff, and you're nothing. You don't have to spend anything to get this. It's just innate in this sub-faction. So you add 1 to that ability. So pretty good. I like that. The command ability. So this is the command ability. It's going to have to go on your Trog boss, as he's going to be your general, so that you can take all the Trogs as your battle line. So it's called Oblivious to Sorcery, and all these things have great names. Kind of leaning into the Trogs are kind of dumb, dim-witted, and just want to fight. And they're just going to go straight ahead and fight regardless of what's going on around them. They just want to get in there and have some melee. So Oblivious to Sorcery. You can use this command ability in your hero phase. If you do so, pick 1 friendly, either Fellwater or Rockgut Troggoth unit, wholly within 12 of your hero. Until the next hero phase, each time that unit is affected by a spell or in the spell, you can roll a dice. If you do so on a 4-up, ignore the effects of that spell or in the spell. So this is the same ability that your hero, your Dankhold Trog Boss has, but now he's able to pass it off to different units. So it's pretty nice, but it only applies to 1 unit, which I really wish it was more of a bubble around him, like you're extending that aura around him to cover more than 1 unit, so you could group up your Trogs around your boss to keep that ability going. But as it is now, if you know that 1 unit is going to get hammered by some spells or an endless spell in the next turn, you can use this, and on a 4-up they'll ignore it. So it's really good if you're going up against a spell heavy list. There's gonna be a lot of lists where you'll probably never use this because they don't have enough spells to worry about. So you know, your benefits may vary depending on who you're facing and really how many command points you have, because it is gonna spend up a lot of command points if you're passing this around a bunch of different units. So overall, not that great, but it's, you know, an extra command ability you have at your disposal. Command trait. So your Glogg's Megamob General must have the following command trait: Shepherd of Idiotic Destruction. Such great names here for this stuff. I love it. And all this flavor text is worth reading. We're not going to do that for the sake of this time in this video, but definitely get a White Dwarf issue, and some of this stuff is hilarious. If this general is part of your army and on the battlefield at the start of your hero phase, roll a dice. On a 4-up, you receive 1 extra command point. So this basically takes the place of Loonshrine. If you were running Trogs before, you were running Loonshrine mostly, or Loonskin, and you were getting an extra command point. So you're not getting it as often here because you do have to roll for a 4-up, but you'll still get the benefit of this the entire game, where Loonskin was kind of, you were counting down until that moon was off the table. And when the moon's on you, you'll still get an extra command point from that in addition to this one if you roll a 4-up. So not quite as good as Loonskin, but with the extra 3-up to your heals now, and then with this 4-up extra command point, you're basically getting to where Loonskin was to an extent. And I think the benefits it's about even. Because Loonskin, you know, if you're really bad at rolling on Bad Moon, Loonskin could be done, you know, in turn 3. This will last the whole game, so that's kind of nice. So a good command trait, especially with the loss of the realm artifacts, where we could do like the rage grip builds and stuff like that. Our command traits aren't quite as good, and so I was taking Loonskin every single time with the Trog boss after we lost realm artifacts. So I like this one, Shepherd of Idiotic Destruction. Artifact of Power. So the first Megamob TROGGOTH hero to receive an artifact must be given the Aether Quartz Studded Hide. Again, awesome flavor text. Basically, he has no idea why he's been collecting all these shiny things, but it's making him tougher. Roll a dice each time you allocate a mortal wound on the bearer. On a 5-up, that mortal wound is negated. So you've got a 5-up mortal wound ward. And so I like this. You know, that's kind of what he's missing. He's got a decent save on a 4-up, and he can get Lookout Sir, but he needs that after save. And so this is a good artifact to give him. If you're running all Trogs, this pairs really well with Glowy Howitz, so that he gets it, so that you can give another Trog boss a after save as well. That one's a 4-up, and he can accidentally eat it on a 1-up, but at least you have a couple different options here to give them some ward saves. So I like this artifact, especially with as many mortal wounds as there are out in the world right now. This one, you need something to negate some mortal wounds. And luckily, he won't eat this one. So overall, I like the allegiance abilities. I like the stuff we've got here. Nothing all that, you know, if you just looked at this, I don't think we'd be too excited. But I think it's the next thing that's really going to get us excited here. So this right here is where we're getting real. Something happened to the screen. Hold on. There we go. So this right here, the War Scroll update for the Bad Moon Loonshrine. This is where this new faction, I think, makes its money. So if your general is a TROGGOTH keyword, so we're taking the Trog boss as our general, any friendly Bad Moon Loonshrines replace their Moonclare Layers ability with the Hidden Trogholes ability. And that Hidden Trogholes ability is listed here. At the end of each of your turns, you pick one friendly Fellwaters TROGGOTH or Rockgut TROGGOTH unit that has been destroyed. If you do so, roll a dice. On a 4-up, a new replacement unit with half of the models from that unit that was destroyed, rounding fractions up, is added to your army. You can set up the replacement unit wholly within 12 of a friendly Bad Moon Loonshrine, and more than 3 inches from any enemy units. Each destroyed unit can only be replaced once. Replacement units cannot themselves be replaced. So we're getting that same ability that we see with Grotz from the original Battle Tome and with Squigs from Jaws of Mork. And now we get that with Trogs? Yes! If you're telling me I'm going to be returning half of my destroyed rockguts or half of my destroyed fellwaters, that is awesome. I'm all about that. And so this right here, I think, is where this sub-faction really comes into its own. We're going to see these Troggoths crawling back out of their hidden Trog holes to make a return on the battlefield. So things to keep in mind here for this ability is you're halving the unit and then rounding up. And so if 3 are killed, you're going to return 2. So you're actually getting the most bang for your buck on MSU units, but you may want to try to roll that for higher numbered units. If you're taking 6, you'll get 3 back. If you're taking 9, you'll get 5 back. I think that's kind of that may be the sweet number, especially late game. If you've lost, you're taking a full unit's 12, but usually you'll see it in 6 or 9. And if you've finally lost that unit of 9 and it comes back, you've got 5 Trogs coming back out of that Loonshrine. That's enough to make your opponent worried. I think I would end up trying to sacrifice either by Hand of Gork or running up to kind of screen turn 1, maybe a few MSU units of 3 to get those back pretty quick in turns 1 or 2, and then try to play for the longer game on some of the big units and get them back late game to really make a difference. So great ability here. Returning Fellwater Troggoths or Rockgut Troggoths to your army is pretty awesome. We also have a battalion here, and the battalion for Trogs is kind of notoriously pretty terrible. It was 170 points, and all it did, it was on a 6, it added 1 to your damage. It was something like, in total, it was something like 5% to your damage total or something like that. It's not a lot when you're talking about a wound roll of 6 adds 1 to your damage on something that's already doing multi-wound. It would help for Fellwaters a lot more, but I run a lot of rockguts. So the new battalion, though, Stomping Megamob. So we have the same requirements here. We need 1 Trog boss, and then 3 to 9, any combination of Denkold Troggoths, which are the non-hero versions of the Trog boss, Fellwaters, Rockguts, and any combination, 3 to 9 of those. And then if you want 0 to 2 of the Ale Guzzler Gargants. Unless they get a War Scroll update, I wouldn't take the El Guzzler Gargants unless you're just going for a narrative playlist or something. If they do happen to get a War Scroll update later due to the Sons of Behemoth, then maybe they'll be worth taking. But right now I wouldn't. I'd focus on Trogs. The abilities: One-Tracked Mind. Units from this battalion can retreat and still shoot and charge later in the same turn. So this is actually a useful ability. Being able to break the normal flow of the game is something that can always win you a game. And so if you can retreat and still shoot or charge later in that turn, you can always do some movement shenanigans. You can target units that they thought were safe. You can get onto objectives that they thought they had screened out. This right here adds us some flexibility to a army that really didn't have a lot of movement, a lot of positioning, a lot of board presence to really speak of. Now we can retreat out of a combat with an unfavorable unit and still charge back into something that's a bit more of a juicier target. The retreat and still shoot, to me, isn't that big of a deal. The Rockguts, their shooting is an ability, so you can do that anyway. Even if you run or retreat or are in combat, you can throw a rock at whoever you want to because it's an ability. It's not a shooting attack. The Fellwaters, they do have a pretty nasty vomit attack, and so that's kind of nice. It's so short range though, so you do have to make sure that you're retreating correctly and still keeping whatever you want to shoot into range. But either way, great ability here. It's 160 points, so hey, we're making 10 points right there. This is already a better War Scroll Battalion than the other thing. Also, you can get your drops extremely low with this army, and I think because there's no restrictions on this battalion, like you don't have to stay within range of a boss or a hero or anything, that it just gives that ability innately to all the units in this. You can fit a lot of your army into this battalion, so I really like it. I'm excited about this battalion. I think it's much better than the Trogg Herd, and I will take this every day over that one. So let's look at some list building here. We've got some list building to look at. So here I'm trying to stick with the full Trogg combination here. I'm going Dankhold Trogg Boss. He's going to be my general. He's got that Shepherd of Idiotic Destruction. He's got the Aether Quartz Studded Hide, so he's going to have that extra 5-up ward save. I'm going to take another Dankhold Trogg Boss and give him the Glowy Howitz, so he has a 4-up ward save. And I'm taking Mollig. Now, it's probably not the best option, but if you're wanting to go all trolls, this is I've now got 3 heroes that all have an after save, a ward save, in addition to their normal save. And so my heroes are pretty tough as you can make them here with the Troggs. And we've got 4 units of 6 Troggs each, 2 of each kind, and the battalion. So this list right here is a 3-drop. So you should out-drop most people, force them to go first. Then you can get most of their stuff in range for throwing rocks at it, for vomiting, for getting into combat, and getting in close. So I like that. We're right at 1990. You might have a chance for a triumph. All these lists we're going to look at, I'm putting the trolls in units of 6 just for ease of list building. You can build them up to 9 or down to 3. You can take these in MSU units because you have up to 9 slots in that battalion that you can fill up. And so if you want to run MSU, where you're just running 3 Troggs in each unit, you can, and it's viable. It's a viable strategy there, because if they get killed, that's fine. You're going to bring 2 of those 3 back. So even if they get killed, you're only net losing 1 model. Not bad. So there's your all Trogg list. Kind of like that one with all the Troggs having an after save. I think a little bit better one, probably a little bit more realistic, is something like this, where you're taking the same Trogg boss as your general. You almost, with this many Troggs, I almost want to take another Trogg boss. I know he's not the best hero, but if we're focusing on Troggs as our battle line, he gives a lot of buffs to him, and it makes it worth it, I think, in the end. We've got a couple of Cave Shaman who we're going to give the Hand of Gork. He's going to be teleporting one of these units of trolls into danger and hopefully get them mixed in turn 1 and then killed off. And that's fine. We'll just bring them back. So Hand of Gork is a great little tool for these guys. Madcap Shaman, which is a great one to kind of hide behind some trolls and get him up close to the melee. With that Moonface Moment, he'll give an enemy unit -1 to their save, which makes these trolls that are already hitting hard hit even harder. And his spell, Itchy Nuisance, makes their unit fight last in the combat phase. So he's kind of your melee support hero. Just make sure you keep him hidden behind some Troggs because he's really weak. So there's a list I kind of like. That one all fits under 2K. Inside that same list, and that's a 4-drop, so we're getting a few more drops, but it's not bad. You'll still outdrop most people on that one. Here's one that I kind of like running. I've run the web spinner shaman in a couple Trogg lists, and I've had a lot of fun with him. This one is a 2-drop list, so we've got our Dank boss, same stuff, Shepherd of Idiotic Destruction and Aether Quartz Studded Hide. I'm taking a web spinner on Spire and giving him the headdress, so he's -1 natively, and then Lore of Spider Fangs for a big bubble off of his big base of another -1. So he'd be -2, and then some trolls that are in range of him would also be -1 to hit. Makes them a little bit more survivable. We're fitting everything else. We've got 4 units of 6 rockguts and 1 Dankhold Troggoth, the non-hero version. That all fits into the battalion. So we're looking at a 2-drop and 132 wounds. Not too bad, with some debuffs, a good shaman there, and some good debuffing pieces. I like that one. The last list I think it might be good would be a bringing in the beautiful girl herself, the Troggoth Hag. So this one I got the Untitled Chapter, and same command trait. This time I'm giving him the glowy howitz because I'm going to give the 8th Quartz studded hide to the Hag. She's really taken a hit since we can't take the realm artifacts anymore. You know, the trick was always to make her -2 to hit because she's -1 to hit normally, naturally, and you give her Griff Feathered Charm or something to make her another -1. And since we've lost that, I think she's really kind of gone down a peg. She's so expensive, and without that trick, it wasn't really worth it. But now in this army, she can actually take this Aether Quartz studded hide because she is a Trogg. She'll be our first hero to take an artifact. Per the subfaction, we can give her this, which would give her a 5-up mortal wound save. So I like that. She'd be -1 to hit, 5-up mortal wound save. So that, I think, brings her back into contention. We've also got a Fungoid Cave Shaman here with the Hand of Gork. I like that for the 90 points I had left over. We're going to throw him in there and let him teleport some Trogs around. And then, of course, everything that goes into the battalion. And so that would be a 3-drop list. You've got 2 casters, a melee hero, and everything's pretty survivable. I'd be hiding that Cave Shaman back behind my my Loonshrine to teleport stuff around. But so far, you know, I like this subfaction. I think it's gonna be good. I think if you're gonna run Trogs, this is where you're gonna do it in. Recycling those Troggoths is pretty awesome. All right, this video is getting pretty long. This is how I like the Glogg's Megamob. I'm gonna try to get them in a battle report soon if I can get all these Trogs to where they're not just gray plastic. I've got about 1,000 points still painted. I sold off all my fellwaters, and I'm sticking with rockguts. So I'll be running just rockguts here. But this is, hey, regenerating Trogs is pretty awesome. All right, let me know what y'all think. Am I missing anything here? What else can we do in this subfaction? Am I missing any good stacks with the stuff that we have in the Gloomspite Gets book to add to this? Let me know in the comments below so we can make our list better and bring those Trogs back to the top. All right, see you guys later.